Verily, Allah commands you to make over the trust to those entitled to them, and that when you judge between men, you judge with justice. So, I know you all are educated people. You look at the news, you know what is going on in the Muslim countries. Is it that what the Islam has taught? If we look nowadays in the world where we find justice, do we find justice in Islamic countries? Looking at the economical factors, we can see I have excluded African countries because mostly they are low-income countries. We see there are some countries which are high-income countries, some are low-income countries. Many of them are low-middle-income countries. The same picture is shown to us if we look at the debts, the foreign direct investment, and the inflation rate in Islamic countries. In the infrastructure, it is shown that the mobile phone is the most used communication instrument in Islamic countries. After it, it is the internet. We have literacy rate in 57 countries, which are between Kazakhstan 99.8% and in Afghanistan only some percent. And there are different possibilities for transportation like shipping and railroads. If we look at the factual law, we know all that the rules in Islamic countries come from the Quran and the Sunnah and are the rational thinking. But what we are doing, in the Quran it is written, and among his signs is the creation of heavens and the earth, and the variation in your languages and your colors. Verily, in that are signs for those who know. It means all people among the world are equal before God. What is going on in Muslim countries? The people are separated in classes. Some are up, some are down. Is it that what the Islam has taught us? If I look at the German law, I know that 90% of the Islamic trade law is copied from Germany. It is used in German, successful established there. Why we not use it? Looking at the point of technology, we all know that once there was a time when the Muslims had the highest achievement in science, chemistry, astrology, mathematics, in many fields. Even the first word of the Quran was Iqra, read in the name of your Lord. The Holy Prophet Muhammad said, increase your knowledge, even if you have to go to China. It is duty of a Muslim to increase his knowledge. But what happened? If we look now to the high technology exports in 2007, we see the European countries, we see USA, and where we see the Islamic countries, OEC, the Organization of All Islamic Countries, which consists of 57 countries, have only a share of 4%. Why? The Islam, which suppose to support science and say we have a rational belief what we are doing, why we are not in science, in technology. 1,400 years before, a man in a desert was sitting and said, if there is a war, you're not allowed to cut trees. You're not allowed to flood palm trees. You're not allowed to kill animals during war. You should even not kill honeybees and ants. When we think that in Europe, just 20 years before, the people say, don't kill honeybees and be good to the environment, it is the teaching of Islam 1,400 years. And what are the Islamic countries doing? There is no space for chemical, biological, or nuclear weapons in Islam. What are the Islamic countries doing? Why they are investing 80% in defense and wars and nuclear weapons, and not in education? If you look at the society, Hazrat Khadija Rizqallah Anha was the first wife of the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. She was 15 years older than him, and she was a businesswoman. She was divorced. I know in a Muslim society, if I would be a man and I would go to my mom and said, Mom, I want to marry a woman, she's 10 years older than me, my mom would slap me. She would say, "Are you stupid?" And if I would say, "You know, Hazrat Khadija, she was the first wife of the Holy Prophet. She was 15 years older than him," she would say, "Hazrat Khadija and Hazur sallallahu alaihi wasallam are two different cases." What is with the women who are divorced? Will they never marry? Have they no part in a society? Why we are doing this? Domestic violence is a phenomenon which is worldwide, but unfortunately also in Islamic countries. Some people even take the Islam and say it is allowed to beat his wife. But if you look at the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he never beat any of his wives. He said, "The best among you are those who behave best towards their wives." The duty of Muslim is to increase knowledge. Some people say that Muslim women not have to increase their knowledge. It is enough if they increase their religious knowledge. But I think how a nation can be successful and achieve higher innovation when the mothers of the nation are not educated. I personally think it is not that what the Islam said. The Islam said it is duty of Muslim men and women to increase knowledge. There are Islamic values like there is only one God. You should have a simple life. You should produce products which are more useful than decorative. Corporate social responsibility, it means if you make halal products, you should not invest in credits which are with interest. You should have one face. What you are inside, you should be outside. There is a variety of minds. As I said, there are 73 different groups of Islam. Some people want to buy a toothpaste without alcohol. Some women want to have makeup without alcohol or pork ingredients. Imagine there are 1.57 billion Muslims. Do you know any brand which makes makeup without pork or any alcohol ingredients? Unfortunately, there's only one pure beauty. And think how big the Muslim Ummah is. There is a need of many things, like personal care, as I said. Then there is a need of Islamic conformed clothes. But how many we know they are producing that? If you live in the West, you know that there is in Turkey a man, he's called Mustafa Kardamon. He is a businessman investing in Islamic conformed and trendy clothes. And there are 2 websites in America that you can buy also Islamic conformed clothes. And that was it. What is with the others? I'm living in Germany. I also want to buy Islamic conformed clothes. Why there are not Islamic conformed clothes for me? Fulla was also a doll which was for the needs of the Muslims and quite successful. What we have to keep in mind is the philosophy of Islam. Would you buy a product which is made by children? That led me to the next point, Islamic business. Some people say Islamic business is only something what you can think, it's only theory, but it's not. Social justice, zakat, honesty in business, prices, which should be not too high or not too less, are not only theory. In Germany, there is the social market system, and it is exactly that what the Islam has taught as economy system. There is not a big gap between poor and rich, because the rich give more taxes so that they can support the poor ones, and that's what the Islam wants. There should be a social justice in our economy system. And these things are not new. I know if anyone wants to read it, he knows Ibn Taymiyyah has wrote all the things which the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said about business. Islamic marketing. What we need is first in European and American countries, there is a lot of Islamophobia because the people think we are beating our wives, we are beating our children. The people need to know that the Islam is a peaceful and nice religion. We can advertise Islam by simple things. I know that many people not know about Islam living in Germany. And there are little or small things. If we advertise Islam It will be better for the communication between the countries. And if you think we could also work with European companies and could tell them how they can advertise their products that the Muslim consumers are happy with it, because there are many things that Europeans, for example, not know. For example, that we not use the left hand when we eat. My conclusion is we should work with the Europeans. We should understand the complexity of the Muslim world. Islamic business can be implemented successfully. And remember, Hazrat Khadija anha and the Holy Prophet Muhammad ﷺ were both business people. They made trade. They were honest. It is possible. If you want, you can achieve everything. Islamic marketing is without Islamic finance, Islamic ethics, Islamic responsibility, and Islamic business, nothing. So, I want to thank for your attention and remember the words of the Holy Prophet. The ink of the scholar is more sacred than the blood of the martyr. Thank you for your attention.